This is a D6 generation pip. Bite-sized content for a busy gamer. Sometimes featuring Craig, sometimes featuring Russ.
Hey, what about me?
Oh yeah, and sometimes featuring Raef, Hollywood Granger.
Okay, so this is the Raef's Roundtable, so I'm going to jump right into it, Russ. Russ normally does the intros, but he gets to take a back seat. He gets to just sit at the round table. Craig is first, so Craig's the knight, and since Russ was late, he's the maid, and I'm the tavern keeper. So,
can I be a wench?
Yes, you're the wench.
We are Grangering it right out of the gate.
Yes. So I'm Raef Hollywood Granger. This is a D6G pip, otherwise known as Raef's Roundtable, otherwise known as RRT.
What happened to Peter Lipton?
I don't know. I thought about a Peter Lipton.
Not survived COVID? That seems rough.
No, he did. He did survive
Too
COVID.
soon for those jokes.
So, little subtlety for people that have listened to the show. Peter Lipton is the satire of Raef's Roundtable. This is just Raef's Roundtable.
This is the serious version.
Yes, exactly.
Sorry.
Just making sure we're all on the same page.
Right.
For a minute there, thought it was going to be silly.
Switch the Diet Coke out for some scotch.
Yeah, I made a mistake. I got to get some bourbon here. I'll be right back.
That's right. I have my bourbon right here. All right. So what I do, folks, listeners here at home, new and old, well, welcome to all.
Yeah.
Because I will ask Raef. I will ask Russ and Craig questions, and they're just things I literally have been thinking about these for months. I emailed the both of them about 2 months ago. And I'm like,
you wake up at 2 a.m. and you're like, oh my God, I got to ask
And
Russ.
he jots it down.
Oh my God, I got to ask Craig this question.
no, not 2 a.m. They do happen while I'm awake. Thankfully, not while I'm in the shower either. It's usually when I'm at my desk. So
Okay.
I'm like, I got to ask Craig this. Yep. All right. So I'm going to ask them questions. They don't know what they are. We're going to chat. It'll go for about 45 minutes. Here we go.
In fact, Raef laughed at us when we asked if there were notes.
Right. Yeah. No, they don't take notes. All right, Craig.
Yes.
Oh, all of these questions are in the gaming world.
Okay.
Every single question I'm going to ask you.
Why do I feel like we're in Trivial Pursuit now?
Is about gaming.
Category.
I want a piece of pie. I want a piece of pie.
All right. What have you been doing for fun recently?
In the gaming world.
Yeah, within the past month.
Well, this is on my list too, quite Craig. I just wanted to ask this question myself.
All right.
See, it's not just me.
Yes.
I have been painting Marvel Crisis Protocol models since Christmas. I painted a bunch of Star Wars Legion and got both my Empire and my Rebels all up to speed. So they had at least one of every unit that was available to both of those forces.
Wow.
We're going to be playing a lot of that, but that became difficult scheduling wise. Then I had been piling up a giant collection of Marvel Crisis Protocol models that I was putting together, but then not painting. And I decided I needed to stop that and not buy any more until I got all those painted. So I collected basically all of the factions that I didn't have yet over Black Friday big sales, store credit from a giant gamer auction, and then Christmas presents and money and sales. And I had, I think, over 40 models, which is an insane amount of money because they're expensive models. And I am down to the last 7.
Of Crisis Protocol or Star
Crisis
Wars?
Protocol models that were in that giant collection.
Oh, in that. Okay.
Yeah. Recently, I've been fascinated by Rangers of Shadow Deep, which is a game that you and I have played, Raef.
Yep.
Once, I think either pre-COVID or the one and only time we got together with Dave and Andy after COVID at Andy's house.
That's an Andy favorite.
It's a really fun. It's a solo to up to 4 players working together in a sort of a role-playing environment that I'm really intrigued.
With a miniature, though, right? You're one ranger.
One ranger or a ranger and a companion. Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, I actually have a miniature for that kicking around, which I haven't painted. That is a fun game.
It is fun. So I haven't been able to play because right when we stopped playing and schedules got difficult, I then got COVID, which put me out for a week because I was just exhausted. And then it was really hard for me to get back into a groove is the problem.
Yeah. What else have you been doing for fun? Gaming-wise?
That's it.
Okay.
I've been writing. I'm writing a book that takes place in the Infinity universe. And I'm currently editing that with the help of the Infinity lore master who's we're working. He's in collaboration to make sure that the whole book is loyal to the Infinity lore.
Oh, wow.
Which has been fascinating and awesome, actually.
That's super cool, man.
Because that guy's knowledge is encyclopedic.
I can't even imagine because I think your knowledge is encyclopedic.
Yeah, not even close, as it turns out. Holopads and data pads, two different universes. Who knew?
There you
go. Okay. Share with the listeners your article.
My article.
You got featured.
There's a local magazine in Bedford, and it featured me in the February issue as a local author, which was very cool. And it had a really neat, they asked for some photos. Karen sent in some photos from our family pictures sitting that we did out on a farm. And so it turns out it looks like it was a professional photo shoot we went to, which is, I guess, kind of what happened, but that was our thing. And
it looked very cool, those pictures.
It's neat because I've really been stopped all over the place. Like people at school have stopped me because they live in Bedford and they saw it, and people at sporting events has stopped me. So I don't know if it sold any books, but it's been neat getting a little bit of my micro celebrity back for a moment.
Does it exist online if any of our listeners wanted to check out the article?
No, but I did tweet out 2 images of it that you could blow up if you wanted to.
Okay. Oh, to read it. Okay.
Yeah.
It was cool when I saw it, and the pictures. Everybody, Russ, I don't know if you got a chance to see it, but
I did.
It looks exactly like a local author biopic. Like, I don't know, you're leaning on a split rail fence or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's how I roll.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to see the photographer there. Just like, Mr. Glenn, please stand over by that bush.
Yeah. And our dog with boobs.
Hold your son like you love him. Now, there we go.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Thanks for the update, Craig. Russ, this question is for you.
Right.
Slightly different than Craig's question.
Sure.
Okay. What are you currently enamored with in the gaming world?
Enamored with? Does that have to be new? Does that mean new enamor or old enamor?
Well,
you're in love with it right now.
Yeah, you're in love with it right now.
Well, I have to say the thing that's taking the most of my time, which I'm also really enjoying, that everybody, I think most listeners know, is I'm actually in the middle of running 3 D&D campaigns.
Holy crap, I didn't know you're up to 3.
All doing Roll20. So how this happened is I've been running the family game for a long time, since my children were 12 and they're now both in college. But that one ended right before my oldest went to school, and then she's now a sophomore in college. But then we switched over, and I ran Waterdeep Dragon Heist for them, and then but that only goes to level 5, but it was awesome. So I turned Dragon Heist into Descent into Avernus, which was fun because Descent to Avernus is supposed to start in Baldur's Gate, and then you go to Avernus. But in my world, it started in Waterdeep, then you go to Avernus. But that's been a lot of fun. But then as the kids, so this is a campaign I've been running with my own daughters, plus my brothers, my niece and nephew. And of course, as the kids progressively started going to college, I realized that when my oldest daughter went away, we just paused for a while and let her do her thing. And after a while, she said, let's start playing again. And we've been playing remotely with her. When my nephew went away, which was this fall, we thought we'd pause again. And since we were going to pause, my daughters, who are all, ready to go, are like, hey, can we start a different campaign, just the 2 of us plus you?
Oh.
And so we did, and that one started in Eberron, which for those who aren't familiar, Eberron is an official setting for Dungeons and Dragons, but it's a different universe than the Sword Coast, and it takes place in sort of this I don't want to say steampunk, but it's more like gumshoe, noir, and also like magic is technology. So you've got like lightning rail trains and airships. It's a little more, that kind of a fantasy world. But you still have all your D&D races. It's just a different universe, different like another section of the multiverse. So, which is fun because in my Avernus campaign, one of the players in that is from Eberron, and she came through a portal. So there's a little tie in there. But basically, we started that. And the plan was just the two of them. And you'll like this, Rafe. So I actually backed and got from the Kickstarter the new Iron Kingdoms 5e RPG.
Oh, I saw that.
Right? So,
yeah.
so
Not that you did that. I saw that was out.
Yeah. And so I bought that. And I've been starting to weave that content in. So in Eberron, I thought it'd be fun to put Warjacks in there because Eberron's very technology and they have sort of these things called Warcasts, which are like basically human, like metal people. And then also a Warforged. And so I was like, well, that kind of makes sense that Warjacks would be there. And then in the other campaign I'm running, so that's that campaign. And then in my so there's two campaigns there for the family. And then, also my niece jumped in on that one now because she's like, well, I want to play too. And then John's in there. So John's playing a dumb Warjack, like a Warjack that's not very bright running around. And then meanwhile, in the other campaign, my that I'm running on Monday nights, that's on the show. So that's going on too. And in that one, I don't think this episode's aired yet, but you guys just transitioned to a new part of the story, sort of like Act 2, if you would. And in Act 2, you guys are in 10 towns, so it's icy. And I started introducing Winter Trollbloods from the Iron Kingdoms because that'd be kind of fun to do that too. So I've been having a lot of fun. I am enamored with 5e, how extensible and easy it is, and how things like the Iron Kingdoms, it reminds me of back when there was the public domain stuff for D20 stuff. Remember, everything was D20 and everybody, had content. It was great. 5e's like that now. You can find 5e stuff for anything. And it's such a great, easy system to use. So I'm really enjoying that. So I have to say, not exciting, kind of predictable, but I can't say enough good things about 5e and Roll20, because without Roll20 or some kind of virtual tabletop, I couldn't do all this stuff.
And so is it what has you enamored is that because you're in so many campaigns that gives you a reason or excuse to be reading all these cool lore books and books on it?
I think that's it. I think it's because you want to, when that stuff comes out, you get excited and you want to get it and read it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, when am I ever going to play Dragon Heist Waterdeep? But the source book's so cool. Or when am I ever going to do Avernus? And now I've got, Waterdeep is done. I did Tyranny of Dragons back in the day. Now I'm doing Avernus. You guys are getting into Frost Maiden. So it's kind of like, well, I get to use these things. And then, so it's just fun. It's just a lot of fun.
Russ is living his best D&D life.
I am. But I'm also playing a lot of board games and video games too. But D&D is definitely taking the most of my, D&D is the game I play regularly because I've just got these committed slots. But I should mention that it's really only two campaigns I play regularly. The third campaign swaps out with one of them when there's not full availability.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So Sundays I play my family game, and my nephew, he's come back and we're doing the Avernus campaign, but he plays Ultimate Frisbee. He's got a lot of stuff going on. So every once in a while he has to cancel. So when he does, we play the other one.
Okay.
So no one feels like they're missing out. He doesn't.
I like that. That's a good idea. Okay. One of the most recent things I got enamored with, and I can't remember, I was just sitting here thinking I can't remember if old school round table I include myself or not. But
why not? You should.
One thing I wanted to update you is, and I don't even know if Craig knows this. I know Russ doesn't know it. I'm 100% addicted to, can't wait to play Age of Sigmar.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, I think I saw this developing.
Yeah. So
Doc called it a mile away.
Doc's the one that implanted this seed inside me. He contacted me like a month or 6 weeks ago, and he's like, "Hey, let's jump on Tabletop Simulator and play Age of Sigmar." And I'm like, "Nope, I don't want to play fantasy. and I don't like tabletop simulator. He's like, come on, it'll be fun. We'll push some models around. It'll be like we're together. And I'm like, well, all right. I'm a jerk if I just want to be like, no. So I was like, well, tell me more about Age of Sigmar, because I hear how everybody loves it. Like, I think I see Norbert's posts on Facebook all the time. He's like totally into Age of Sigmar. And I remember a couple 3.5 Adepticons ago where everybody just had Age of Sigmar armies. And people are like, oh yeah, I used to play 40K, but now all I play is Age of Sigmar. So I've always been like, why is that? So Doc explained to me a couple rules, which I can get into if you want to, but that I'm like really intrigued me. So then I I felt like Craig in a way, where I started to go in a good way. And I started to go down because, you don't want to be Craig in a bad way. That's
nobody, not even Craig wants to be Craig in a bad way.
No, but Craig, that part where you enjoy, or maybe you don't enjoy it, but I enjoyed it, where you research and research and research. So I went down the rabbit hole of like, what army do I want to play? And there's 16 armies. And suddenly I got that bug of the research just alone became fun. And then that fun of lying in bed going, all right, what army? All right, I've narrowed it down to 3, like which one do I want to do? And without buying one army or one book or one anything, and calling Doc and asking him questions. And, so that was fun. I kind of researched things. And so I decided on a orc. You'll like this, Russ. I decided on an orc Iron Jaws army.
Ooh, those are awesome looking.
Yeah. And it's all new. So like they have these things called battle tomes. That's what a codex is. And your army list is called a war scroll, I think. So that was a little frustrating. I was so far out of miniature gaming, I didn't even know the language anymore. I couldn't access the material in trying to research. I'm like, what are they talking about? That was a little frustrating. But again, I could just call Doc and be like, what's a war scroll? He goes, that's your army list. Oh, okay. So that was fun. So I've got a game. The word got out among the nerd herders. And so Ian calls me up and says, like, hey, I hear you've got a fantasy army, Age of Sigmar army, because he's always had Age of Sigmar. And I'm like, yep, building 1,000 points. And so we have a game scheduled on the 31st. And so I'm really psyched about that. And I bought my newest model that I bought that I'm going to build. That's why I had to finish before the cameras rolled, guys. Maybe I'll come grab it, but I finished my Lego blacksmith kit.
I was going to ask, is it for terrain?
No, that was just, I saw it for Christmas and I'm like, I'm not a huge Lego person, and that I don't consider myself a Lego collector, but when it was the medieval blacksmith, and I've got my man office now, which you see behind me, a little cluttered, but there it is. I was like, oh, that'll be a cool showpiece. Little sidebar. I didn't realize building Lego kits was so fun. Like, I totally get why people build these now. Like, it was really fun to put that Lego blacksmith kit together. Super fun. But anyway, I had to get that out of the way in order to build my Age of Sigmar army. But I've been reading over the school break. There was one white dwarf. I must have read the Age of Sigmar stuff like cover to cover like 4 times just to get totally into it. And they have the rules on the app. They have an Age of Sigmar app. And so I was like reading all the rules. I kind of want this one to be, rather than, I don't want to crush people in the game, but rather than just make everybody else rely on knowing the rules, I kind of want to know the rules this time through. And yeah, so totally pumped to get that builded up. I'll throw some pictures up, put them in the Discord. So that's what I'm enamored with.
Cool.
Yeah, nice. That is awesome.
All right, over to you, Craig. What rant or anger or irritation do you have about anything in the gaming world? And it can be as petty as anything you want. Is there anything that's got you just sacked off? Hacked off.
I mean, what?
What does that mean?
That seems
Hacked off.
bad. I don't want to. Well, I mean, I've been out of everything for a long time because, I find it very frustrating online when people are complaining about gatekeeping and you're trying to keep this person out, or and I feel like they're gatekeeping against the people who they think are gatekeeping. So I just wish that people could just play the games the way they want to play them. And then those very same people are then one post later going, everybody should play games the way they want to play them, which is great. If like you let everybody play the games that like, so I think, but that's like a wider thing in the world that bothers me. So in general, but gaming wise, I mean, I haven't been motivated to rant in a long time.
Okay.
So, I'm too busy. I got too much stuff going on.
Where's
I do
the
a lot
passion,
of
Craig? Where's the fire?
Yeah, there's just no fire. There's none. It's out. The fire is out.
Oh.
It may be smoldering, but there may be some smoke. But the smoke is more the eye rolling of like, why is this what you're choosing to burn your time, energy, love, and commitment on?
That's a great point, actually.
You enjoy your games and love it and share that love with other people, and that's awesome. But if somebody else is playing it and they're like playing it different than you're playing it, then why is that not okay?
The rant's building, Rafe. Keep it going. He's getting there. He's getting ramping up.
I'm working up. The problem is there's a giant, enormous rant, and I'm not going to go there. So
here it comes. Here it comes. It's percolating now, Rafe.
Come
back to it. Let's bring it back.
Is it outside of gaming?
Humanity.
It's outside of gaming.
Fed up with
right?
humanity. That's what it is. I'm really, honestly fed up with humanity, and so
I think a lot of people have humanity issues right now. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fuel it. I'm so into the 100%. Be curious, not judgmental, and the world would fix itself. So it all really comes down to Ted Lasso. Really, like
it does.
If you disagreed with someone and you were curious about why they felt what they felt, instead of immediately attacking what you're hearing instead of hearing what they're saying, then I'm convinced that at least 70% of the problems in the world,
that's a great point,
between people anyway, would be solved. Because if you can't concisely summarize the other person's argument so that they agree that that's their argument, which most people can't do when they're in there ranting and raving and, oh, you're this or you're that. They can't do that. They can't concisely state, okay, so at the very beginning of this debate, like when we used to all meet for Dyson discussions, you have to be able to say, like, okay, so what I'm hearing is you think this. And then when I hear you say that and I say, yes, that's what I'm saying, then we're having a conversation about the same thing. Yes. But if I say A, B, and C and you go, whoa, 1, 2, 3. So, and that's happening more and more across the spectrum, on every side, on every topic. And I just can't. I can't. I can't tell you one. I'll give you a little secret.
Sure.
I think I've
getting bigger, Ray. You can feel it going. He's just
I've muted over 100 people on Twitter over the last 2 years. Actually, over the last 5 years, I've muted over 100 people on Twitter. Because
that's probably healthy, honestly.
That absolutely is healthy, because I don't need to see the things that people think other people need to see.
Yeah, that's right. So true. Yep.
There you go.
There's
a rant.
That was a good rant.
You got a little bit.
That was pretty good. That was at least that was a good 5-minute. I like it.
All right, that was good. All right, Wakeland.
Yeah.
What do you foresee coming out in the technology world? Like I was seeing, I forget where I saw it, but you know how down in Boston, the robotics company, they make that little dog that can like hop around and dance and stuff. Have you seen that?
Dancing dogs, it's a thing.
Yeah, and so I see that, and I'm like,
security robots. They're big on dancing security robots.
Dancing security. They entertain and they secure. It's a great new fad.
I was when I see that, I'm like, maybe we're just a couple steps away from the robotic home companion. And I think there are some situations where they already kind of have that, but I mean like one where right now I could talk to my phone and say, robot boy, bring me up a coffee, like that kind of thing.
Boy.
So
average.
What?
And then you hear, go get it yourself in your damn singularity.
It's AI is too good.
That's right. Is there anything like that where it's sort of close technology that you wish was just here right now?
Oh, wow. Well, there's so many different areas I could go on this one. I think, I don't know where to go on this one, Rafe. I think if I go to gaming, let's just keep it in the gaming world. The thing that I think we're really close on. So here's the part of gaming that I feel like the technology is really super close on, but not quite there yet. So virtual tabletops are fantastic for remote play. But remote play is still not as fun as in-person play. And I like to collect and paint miniatures. So what I would like a technology that allows me, and I think close on this, that allows me to seamlessly integrate the virtual tabletop map, right? And all of its virtualness with actual 3D physical models. So what I want to be able to do is basically imagine a table. And I know people do it now. They take a flat screen TV, they put it on their table, and maybe build a little frame box around it, and they put their miniatures on the TV with the map on it. But that's heavy. It's not really purpose built for that. The TVs, get scratched. I want something, and it's expensive. I need something that's just sort of like, and then I know they've also got like little iPad versions, but they're too small. So you need something that's sort of in the middle. So I kind of want like a virtual vellum, like rollout sort of like screen, right? That becomes, imagine like a rollout battle mat that's actually somehow projection of a map that you then put your models on. I don't think we're that far from that because of the TVs and stuff. It's just, we're not quite there yet. And I know, 10 years ago, Microsoft had the Surface and everything, and all those things were going on. But that's kind of where I think that'd be awesome. That's not a super important groundbreaking technology like limitless green energy, but it would be really cool. And so I think that's something I'd like to see. I don't know if that's really predictive, but it's more of a desire, because I think I do think you can't replace the one thing the virtual tabletop can't replace. And we do this in all of my campaigns I'm running. Once in a while we get together. And when you get together, the session's just so much more fun. Yeah. And it's because you can't read people. Your conversation's not as dynamic.
Yeah.
You can't make an odd joke. It's just way better in person. But I also like to play remote, and I really starting to enjoy the fact that my maps can be infinitely huge, and I can handle multiple situations really quickly, and I can context switch easily with my content. So the virtual table is awesome, except in person, I kind of want a physical version of the virtual one.
Yeah, that's cool, Russ. I love talking to you about that kind of stuff.
I just made that up. I don't know if that's real. Well, I mean, there's the tables, but I want something more, like a little projector or something.
Now that you say that, when we were playing in Greg Ivany's campaign, Pathfinder, him and Ryan built that table with the TV, like you're talking about, with the plexiglass. But really, that was just a digital map. To your point, it wasn't. Right. That's, although I think it did have the dynamic lighting, which also made it kind of cool.
Yeah, and that's cool, and that's something like that. But then someone's got to purpose build this table, and then what happens when the TV technology changes? It's a pain in the butt. I want kind of something that's a little simpler.
It almost reminds me of like playing Pong. Like what we played was Pong, and now there's Elder Scrolls. Yeah. And so that'd be really cool to have the Elder Scrolls, super, console 5, PlayStation 5 version of what you just described.
Yes,
that'd be really cool. Craig, how about you? Is there any technology that you see on the horizon, whatever horizon? You could be like, it's 100 years away, but I don't know. Is there any technology that you wish was here today?
No. I would just like to play a game on a table with some cool terrain.
Speaking of terrain, since I'm all into my Age of Sigmar, and I also am totally into kill team. So I bought the Orc kill team box because I wanted all that orky terrain. And I don't know if you guys have played Kill Team recently. It was super fun. They had guys probably haven't, but they had a campaign walkthrough book where they walked you through the rules, and it was a lot more fun than I was expecting it to be. I was expecting it to be 40K light, or it's 40K squads, and no, it's a totally different game with activation tokens and cool little scenarios where you got to like get the package, you get the package off the board. And I think the rule book, I've heard from Dave, who played like under the full rule book, it got a little fiddly, or at least, kind of the concepts got sort of annoying the way our game group can sometimes break miniature games by making them too, what's the rule? What's the word? Like exact to the rule or something like that. But the campaign version, which was the dumbed down rules, made it really fun. So my question to you, though, is my neoprene mat is totally like kind of disintegrating and coming apart. Really? Do you guys have a? Yeah, I mean, it's probably almost 20 years old. Russ, it's that ice mat, like the black.
Oh, wow. I think you just buy a new one, Raef.
Well, I was going to say where. I don't even remember what company I got that from. Do you guys have a company you recommend?
I like Table War a lot. I use a lot of their stuff.
Yeah, their stuff is great.
Yeah.
Table War, it's called?
Table War, yeah. And they're a sponsor at one point. Once upon a time.
They were at one point.
Yeah.
All right. All right, Table
Have a
Wars.
bunch
Send
of their stuff from
send
before
free
they were
copies to Raef.
sponsors.
Yeah, I bought a bunch of their stuff before they were a sponsor. I just bought. I literally just got a mat from them the other day. They're great. Highly recommend.
Okay, cool. Craig, have you seen Batman, the new Batman?
I have not.
Okay,
Me
Russ,
neither.
have you seen the new Batman?
No, but I have a movie recommendation for you.
All right, go.
Just came out on Netflix. Should suck. Freaking amazing. The Atom Project.
Oh, I saw
I want to
somebody.
see that. I want to
Oh
see
my
that
God, so good. It's
bad.
streaming right now on Netflix.
Yeah.
So good. Ryan Reynolds, top of his game. And the kid they got to play, young Ryan Reynolds, nails it. He does all the Ryan Reynolds gags. Kid's like, I don't know, 12 or 13 years old.
Yeah.
Awesome. Premise is time travel. I know you've seen it before, but not quite like this. And so basically, in the near future, Ryan Reynolds goes back in time to solve a time problem and meets his younger self. And so it's basically a buddy action adventure movie between someone and his 12-year-old self.
Oh my gosh, I mean, who doesn't love Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah,
but I
and
love
the action's
Ryan Reynolds.
insane. The action,
And this is the same writer and director as Free Guy, which I loved also.
Oh, that was good
and
too.
It's 3 generations of Ryan Reynolds because he meets up with his 12-year, and this isn't really a spoiler because it's in the previews. He meets up with his 12-year-old son, but then he connects with his father, who is played by the Incredible Hulk, Bruce Banner. They have
Mark,
his dad,
also known as Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, also known as Mark Ruffalo.
so, but no, he's incredible. He's always the Hulk. You can't change that. Just like Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. I mean, really, it's
Yeah.
Deadpool, the Hulk, and random kid.
So I have a Ryan Reynolds story for you. It only exists in my universe. Do you guys ever?
Oh no,
that?
and his love interest is I'm drawing a blank on her name. Green chick from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, Zoe
Gamora?
Saldana or something.
Gamora, yes, his love interest is Gamora,
Really?
not actually Gamora.
Also known as Zoe Saldana.
Yes, exactly. See, I can't be bothered remembering
It's
actors'
okay.
names. That's
It's
ridiculous.
okay.
Just
Right.
comic names.
I'm a nerd. I just remember their characters' names. I mean, who they really are. So yes, I'm enjoying. That was a fan. I just watched it last night. Fantastic. Highly recommend.
Yeah. I really
feel
wanted
like-
to see that.
I feel like with Ryan Reynolds, do you guys ever have that experience where you feel like you've discovered a band first and then it's like your band before they became super popular? Do you guys ever have that experience?
No, but I'm familiar with it.
Okay. Well, I remember seeing Ryan Reynolds way back when there was this TV show called Two Guys, a Girl, and
And a pizza place.
I mean, two girls, a guy, and a pizza place.
Yes, very familiar with that as well.
Yeah. And I remember seeing Ryan Reynolds in that and being like, oh my God, he's hilarious. So I feel like I've discovered him. You know what I mean? Like I've been a fan of his since those days. So yeah, I'm a huge Ryan Reynolds fan. Take a guess. What's my favorite Ryan Reynolds movie? And I'll give you a clue. You know how I like movies like Bring It On and all sorts of chick flicks. So it's a chick flick. Favorite Ryan Reynolds movie?
I don't know what.
I must watch this movie 5 times a year. Not joking.
Oh no.
Okay.
It's called The Proposal. It has Sandra Bullock in it. Have you guys and Betty White?
I must have seen it, but I can't remember.
I don't think
Oh
I've
my
seen
gosh. Watch The Proposal, Ryan Reynolds at his best. All right. Well, I was really curious. We're almost time to wrap up. Russ has some other gaming things to get to. What do you
One of my, then I'm running 3 D&D campaigns, but I'm actually in another one. So I'm in 4 D&D campaigns. 1 as a player, 3 as a dungeon master, which is a little unusual. Usually it's reversed. So that's kind of crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy. What is your character?
That's a lot of work.
It really is. That's why I do pre-gens. I can't be bothered to create this crap. You kidding me?
What's your character?
His name is Namfoodle Boondiggle. He's got a cloak that flaps automatically. It's a cantrip. It's one of the new cantrip magic items. So whenever he does anything grand, his cloak flaps. And he is a gnome arcane archer who thinks he's a wood elf. So he's always wanted to be a wood elf. And so he has some of the stats of a wood elf, but the way he does that was through all of his gnome gizmos. So his bow's got these little gnome crafties on there to allow it to function as a longbow, it's a short bow, that kind of thing.
How'd you come up with that?
John and I both have this thing where we pick a race or a background that doesn't fit the class and then try to make it work. And that was sort of what that was.
I did that in Greg's Pathfinder campaign. That's where the Dwarven Rogue came about. And it was super fun to play. A Dwarven
It is
Rogue.
fun. It's a lot of fun. And then it's amazing how well it works after a while. And then
It
everybody's
is
like,
amazing,
it's so easy. And
actually.
it's like, I don't know. It sounded stupid when I started, but now it's working out.
Yeah, it is fun to do.
Yeah.
All right, Craig, you're going to get the last word. Anything gaming wise or in the gaming world that you want to say before we sign off? It's on your mind.
Words of wisdom, Craig. Make them count.
I think you should throw this to Russ. I've already said I haven't been doing much of anything but painting.
No, be wisdom. Wisdom.
All right, Russ.
Be wisdom. Be wisdom. Be the.
You're a writer. You say something wise.
Be the paint.
Use the words.
Oh, speaking of paint, have you guys heard that Army Painter is coming out with their version of contrast paints?
I've been watching it avidly, and it seems like there's some problems, but I'm intrigued.
Well, I have to admit on that front, Craig, and I heard it's going to be like a little bit less money, and I'm nothing against Army Painter. I've used tons of Army Painter Vallejo paints, but I don't know. I like the GW contrast so much. I don't think I'm going to switch just to switch,
Yeah. I've been using contrast since they came out. I've gone through like half my colors. I'm into a second pot already. I'm probably ready to replace a bunch. Like a bunch of them are almost empty. So I was really intrigued by a slightly less expensive version. There seems to be an issue with any liquid, including other of these paints, reactivating the paint after it's dried.
Ooh, that'd be bad.
So you can't like do a hard edge between two. I don't know for sure. I haven't tried it. I've been looking at a lot of YouTube things. I've been looking at a lot of reviews online. And then there was a lot of weird talk about some weird like planted reviews or some reviews that didn't seem like they were genuine. Like there was a I don't know. I don't want to start any rumors because I honestly don't know. And I will be buying.
We're going to start some rumors right now.
I think the only problem I have with them is they're made out of baby tears.
Oh, yeah.
Is the main, and I don't know that. I don't know that for sure.
I have a serious question.
It's possible that they're like kitten tears or puppy
Big
tears.
Hearts. Big hearts.
But I've heard baby tears is what I've heard.
I have a serious question on that front. I probably haven't cracked my GW paint pots in, let's say, 3 years. Would you just chuck them and start fresh? Or would you open them up and if they
them and see if they're alive? If they're still alive, why do you want to chuck them?
Well, I didn't know if maybe let's say they're still alive. I wasn't sure if they'd be.
Well, you don't even have to open them. Yeah, you shake them. Shake them. Do they go splish 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 splish?
But if they're alive,
how's that go?
Splish 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 splish.
If you open them up and there's fluid in there, I was worried because they're contrast paints. I was worried if they'd be too thick or not the right ratio.
No, I don't
found any.
I don't.
They're probably contrast paints are probably fine.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Unless it got crazy hot or crazy cold.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Barring
the froze or overheated.
Yeah.
All right.
Unless you've got money to burn, in which case I say keep them and send your money to me.
Well, if you got that much money, buy all the Army Painters and
compare and contrast.
And then do I see what there's the wise words. There they are.
Oh, I knew I would find something wise.
Wow. I'm just hitting the stop record right there. That's it. All right. Well, thanks for coming on. I'm glad we could do this last minute for another ramshackle episode of Raef's
Roundtable. Raef. It's been too long.
Yeah, that was fun.
It has been too long. I look forward to more and live gaming. All right. I'm turning off the recording. See y'all later. Happy gaming.
A little behind the scenes.
That was a great exit, Raef. I like how you just cut it.
I don't think it stopped yet.
No, I haven't cut it. You're still talking.
Now you're seeing Russ's little wise ass comments.
Now they see the true Russ.
Achievement unlocked. You've made it to the end of another D6 Generation episode, the podcast whose humor has universally been acclaimed as not too horrible. Please let us know what you thought of the show by emailing us at info@the d6generation.com. If for some inexplicable reason you actually enjoyed this show, you can help others find out about it by leaving positive reviews on iTunes. Thanks for listening and happy gaming.